Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle. So lovely to have you here with me today. I'm filming this from my desk. I was trying to do one of my face, but I just couldn't get the lighting right. So I thought, why not just show you what I get to see every day from my desk? You can probably see the cars down there as well, and I hope the traffic isn't being picked up on the microphone. But yeah, it's a lovely view. I enjoy it, so I hope you enjoy it as well. Today's video is about connecting your intuition to your to-do list. This was inspired by the fact that I'm filming this in December and it's holiday season, but this is a practice that I do all the time. In fact, I aim to exist completely from this perspective, this flow perspective, and it's something I've actively worked to be present with 24/7. So if you're new to this, I'll get into some tips in a little bit about that. But first I want to address the two different types of flow state, because the intuitive state is a flow state. If you want it to be, it doesn't have to just be random messages popping in all the time. It can also be a state that you are present in and to all the time. So I want to clarify, I think that there's two different types of flow space. The flow space that we're used to talking about is when you get into that zone of genius energy and you're in a flow and just everything's just coming out perfectly. You're writing, creating whatever it is you're doing. Sometimes even when you're cleaning or, doing the dishes, you can get into that flow state. You just become really present and ideas can start coming in. So that's one, I think, the most common flow state that we're used to talking about. The other aspect of flow state is just being present. It's like, I guess another way to describe it is being present and being in the observer space all the time. So being present in every moment and letting that intuition flowing through you all the time. And it kind of feels like you're, when you go into a daydream and you get that, I don't know how to say that, nostalgic feeling, or for me it kind of looks like I'm in a white mist. That's how I experience it, this like softening. But that's you tuning into the ether element. And if when you're in that space, you come into a space of listening and receiving intuition, that's the space where the intuition flows. And if you can hold that space throughout the day and allow your intuition to flow through that space because you're listening and receiving and then taking aligned action, that's you connecting your intuition to your to-do list or to your everyday moments. And the other main thing I think about this particular flow state is that it's not all about productivity. It's also knowing when your intuition is telling you to rest. It's also knowing when your intuition or your flow state is saying you need to look at this trigger or this emotion that's coming up. So it's not all about productivity. And if you're someone who's self-employed or even works for someone else, or is a stay-at-home parent and you just want to have more flow in your day, then it is about observing the ebbs and flows that come throughout every moment and being present to them. And that's quite different from that first state where we're productive all the time, and we're not supposed to be productive all the time because we would burn out. And also that's kind of leaning into that out of alignment masculine, the unaligned masculine energy, wanting to be productive all the time and do rather than allowing yourself those ebbs and flows to receive and to then take aligned action. So that's what this space can do. If it's your first time connecting into this space, I just invite you to just be playful. Be playful with it. And because worry blocks any intuitive flow or any intuitive space, we just go straight back into the mind. We go back into that masculine, that unaligned masculine that just wants to do, which disregards the aligned feminine and the aligned masculine. So being playful and curious is the best way to move with the energy. And then the other part of that is surrendering the decision making to flow as well. So that might be maybe the hardest part of this new flow, is surrendering decision making, because your flow, your intuition, is going to tell you when it feels right, when it's in the flow, to take that aligned action, to take that aligned masculine action energetically to do that task. So that can be a little bit challenging if you're used to using your will to push and get things done, rather than allowing your flow to guide you to, you're in your little boat and it's just taking you down the stream. So the next thing is to introduce this practice incrementally and to get used to how it feels and get used to trusting that your tasks are going to be done. And because you're able to see down the line, and this is sort of what remote viewers do when we look down a timeline, we're looking at the energy of now and how that energy is going to unfold, because we're going to take the actions we're going to take. And so you can get a sense and a feeling of what that outcome is going to be. So that's how you can surrender the control and the anxiety that it's not going to get done. But again, if you just introduce it incrementally and say you could say to yourself, for the next half an hour or half a day, I'm going to just allow my flow, my intuition to lead me about the things I know I need to do or want to do. Just see what happens. Just experiment with it. The other thing that you can do is to do an invocation with your guides, specific to connecting your intuition and your flow together to your to-do list. I'm going to take us through this, setting this practice up at the end when I've gone through all my notes. So that's something that can also focus your energy and your intention. And I'm just having a look at my notes. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The other part of it is the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, this ebb and this flow, and it's important to talk about. I've kind of talked about it a little bit already, the masculine, the unaligned masculine. Sorry for the motorbike, hope it wasn't too loud. The unaligned masculine just wanting to push and do, and that's just coming from the will center, from the third eye, from that lower will, and it's not listening to anything else. So this way of being, or way like perception, it's really important to sit in the silence. You've tuned into that energy, that daydreaming energy, and you're sitting, listening and feeling, and just letting all of your intuitive senses just receive. You're going into receiving, and that's divine aligned feminine, or the yin aspect of this. And then the flow, it will bring information, and all you have to do is sit there and receive it and listen to it. And it might say, there's some feelings that want to come up to be looked at. Okay, let's go do some journaling and, work through your process. Or it might say, let's have a look at your to-do list, or the first thing that you're going to do is this. And then that's an aligned masculine action energetically. It's the aligned doing, but you're still being present. You're not slipping into your will of push, push, push. You're staying in the flow and you're still moving. You're in this ebb and flow of the receiving and the giving, or the receiving and the doing, but the doing isn't pushing. You're not pushing from will center. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of understanding of the mechanics behind the flow state, like how the masculine and the feminine, or the yin and the yang, when they're in alignment, how they're working. And it just takes a little bit of time to get used to, really. So, okay, let's set you up. So I'll probably timestamp this for later, if you want to come back to it, just to do the intention and that process of setting it up. Yeah, I'll do that. So now you know, you can just come back. All right, so, the timer just went 11:11. Can't believe it. That's awesome. Spirit is with us. Okay, so obviously don't do this if you're driving and all that jazz. I think we're all au fait with that. But just when you're in a space, you can close your eyes down to block out your physical senses from overstimulation. Just closing your eyes down. Just taking some deep breaths to center and coming into awareness of self. And we're going to call in our guides, your guides of the highest divine light and love. Thank you for giving us messages from the highest divine light and love that we will clearly see, feel, sense, know, hear from you. Thank you for making them clear. Thank you for making it obvious. Thank you for giving us signs if we are doubting. But we also ask you to remove all doubt, all lower energies, all lower feelings or worries that might prevent us from receiving and being in tune with this flow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. And now let's just go into that daydreaming energy, that vibe, and just sit in the silence and the stillness and listen. And it kind of is a bit of a recalibration. You're recalibrating your body and your being and your mind to listening. You're listening with your inner ear, with your inner eye, with your inner knowing, your inner feeling. Just going into a state of receiving. And as you're recalibrating to this beautiful energetic state, just sitting in it, sitting in that lovely energy, ask your flow, your intuition, what information do you have for me right now? What should I do right now? Do I need to sit for a bit longer? Maybe a spark of an idea comes to you. Maybe you feel like you need to go and do a specific thing. Trust what comes up, allow what comes up. And if you're new to this, it might just take a little bit more time to calibrate. But just sit there with joy and curiosity and the pleasure of just sitting with your guides. And just ask them to help you to receive easily, clearly. And just allow that frequency in. So you can sit with this as long as you need. And this is the state. This is the flow state. This is the flow state of connecting your intuition to your day, to your to-do list, to your emotions, to your flow, to your ebb and flow. So whatever your intention is, whether you're going to practice and experience this for the whole day or just a few hours, just allow yourself to move with the first thing that comes up, whatever it is. And you might like to write that down. You might like to write down how that came through. Did you feel it? Did you just have an idea? Did you hear it? Did you see words written? Did you see a vision of something? Whatever it was, however it came through to you, take note of that as well, because that's your intuition speaking to you. All right, beautiful ones. I feel to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me for this lovely video. I hope you've enjoyed the view. And I hope you've enjoyed the practice, and I'd love to know how you go following your flow. That was a lovely rhyme. I didn't mean that to happen. Beautiful. All right. I will see you in the next video. Let me know how you go in the comments. I would love to know. Sending you lots of love. Mwah.